Hello there, and a very warm welcome to the Bedtime Lab. It's so lovely to have you here with us tonight. Imagine this time as a gentle escape from the day's hustle and bustle, where we can explore the wonders of constellations and mythology together, like old friends sharing secrets under a starlit sky. So, why not settle in, make yourself comfortable, and let your thoughts drift as we embark on this soothing journey among the stars. Before we dive in, I'd love to know where you're joining us from. Your place in the world has its own night sky filled with its own constellations, each twinkling light holding stories untold. Feel free to share your location in the comments below. It creates a beautiful tapestry of dreamers across the globe, all connected by this shared celestial wonder. Now, let me share something interesting. Did you know that the word constellation comes from the Latin constellatio, which means set of stars? It's a fitting name, really, considering that constellations are essentially celestial patterns that humans have been gazing at and telling stories about for thousands of years. These patterns were often seen as great mythical figures, each with its own tale to tell. Speaking of mythical figures, Orion is one of the most recognizable constellations in the night sky. In Greek mythology, Orion was a giant huntsman whom Zeus placed among the stars. What's intriguing is that Orion's belt, the three bright stars in a row, is a feature visible from almost every inhabited part of Earth. It's like a universal signpost in the sky, guiding travelers and dreamers alike. This reminds me of another fascinating constellation, Cassiopeia. This constellation is easily identifiable because of its distinctive W shape. In myth, Cassiopeia was a queen who was placed in the sky as a punishment for boasting about her beauty. Interestingly, in the sky, she appears upside down for half the year, as if to humble her vanity. Isn't it fascinating how stories of pride and humility are woven into the tapestry of the stars? And here's something you might find surprising. The constellation of Draco the dragon wraps around the North Star. In mythology, the dragon was a creature guarding the golden apples in the garden of the Hesperides. Its position in the sky makes it appear as if the dragon is eternally coiling around the celestial pole, guarding its treasures even in the heavens. Did you know that the constellation of Leo, representing a lion, is associated with the Nemean lion from Greek mythology? The lion was known for its impenetrable hide, making it invulnerable to weapons. It was eventually slain by the hero Heracles as one of his 12 labors. Today, Leo remains a symbol of strength and courage, twinkling brightly in the spring sky. This brings us to the constellation of Gemini, which depicts the twin brothers Castor and Pollux. The story goes that when Castor was killed, Pollux, who was immortal, begged Zeus to let him share his immortality with his brother. In response, Zeus placed them both in the sky, forever side by side. Isn't it heartwarming how the constellations capture tales of love and brotherhood? Speaking of twins, did you know that the constellation Taurus is linked to the story of Europa and Zeus? According to the myth, Zeus transformed himself into a magnificent white bull to win the heart of Europa. Today, Taurus can be found charging across the winter sky, a reminder of that tale of transformation and love. Let's not forget about the constellation of Aquarius, associated with the Greek myth of Ganymede, a beautiful young boy taken to Mount Olympus to serve as cupbearer to the gods. The story goes that Ganymede was so cherished by the gods that he was placed in the sky as the water bearer. Isn't it amazing how each constellation holds a unique story that connects us to ancient cultures and beliefs? The constellation of Capricorn is also quite fascinating. It represents a sea goat, a creature with the front half of a goat and the tail of a fish. This mythical hybrid is tied to the god Pan, who transformed himself into this shape to escape the monster Typhon. Can you imagine such a creature navigating both land and sea, embodying the balance of duality? And here's a delightful thought. Did you know that the constellation of Scorpio tells the tale of the scorpion that stung Orion the hunter? It is said that the scorpion was sent by Gaia to punish Orion, and after they both perished, they were placed on opposite sides of the sky. This means that when Scorpio rises, Orion sets, forever chasing but never meeting. Isn't it poetic how the heavens can reflect the eternal dance of predator and prey? As we continue our journey through the stars, let's take a moment to appreciate how these constellations not only map our skies but also enrich our imaginations. They've guided sailors, inspired poets, and provided a canvas for countless stories that have stood the test of time. So as you close your eyes and drift into dreamland tonight, let these celestial wonders accompany you, reminding us all of the timeless connection we share with the cosmos. Until next time, sleep well and dream of stars. Let me share with you something truly enchanting. The constellation of Pegasus, the winged horse of Greek mythology. Pegasus sprang forth from the neck of the Gorgon Medusa after she was slain by Perseus. This mythical creature, known for its grace and power, now gallops across the autumn sky. It's fascinating to think about a horse with wings, soaring across the heavens, isn't it? Pegasus is often associated with inspiration and poetry, reminding us of the creative spirit within us all. And speaking of inspiration, here's an interesting tidbit about the constellation of Andromeda. In Greek mythology, Andromeda was a princess who was chained to a rock as a sacrifice to a sea monster. She was saved by Perseus, and together they were placed among the stars. The Andromeda Galaxy, the closest spiral galaxy to our own, lies within this constellation. Can you imagine that? A galaxy named after a princess, embodying the vastness and complexity of the universe itself. Now, turning our gaze to the night sky, have you ever noticed the constellation of Ursa Major, also known as the Great Bear? This constellation is home to the Big Dipper, which is not a constellation by itself, but part of Ursa Major. Many cultures have seen this pattern as a bear, yet each has its own unique interpretation. The Big Dipper is often used as a celestial guide, pointing the way to the North Star. Isn't it remarkable how a few stars can guide us through the darkness? Here's something surprising about the constellation of Virgo. It is associated with Persephone, the daughter of Demeter. According to myth, Persephone was taken to the underworld by Hades, resulting in the changing of the seasons. Virgo is often linked to harvest and fertility, symbolizing the transition from abundance to scarcity. It's fascinating how this constellation, visible in the spring, reminds us of the cycle of growth and renewal. I wonder if you've heard about the constellation of Libra, the scales. Unlike many constellations, Libra is not based on a creature or hero, but rather the concept of balance and justice. It is said to symbolize the scales held by Astrea, the goddess of justice. Libra's position in the sky during the autumn equinox, when day and night are of equal length, is a beautiful representation of harmony in the universe. Speaking of balance, the constellation of Sagittarius is associated with the centaur Chiron, a wise teacher and healer. In mythology, Chiron was unlike other centaurs, known for his wisdom and kindness. Sagittarius is depicted as a centaur archer, aiming his arrow towards the stars. It's intriguing to think of a celestial archer, symbolizing the pursuit of knowledge and truth, guiding us with his aim towards the vast expanse of the cosmos. Let's explore the story of the constellation of Aries, which is linked to the Golden Fleece. The myth tells of the ram with a golden wool coat, which was sacrificed to the gods and placed in the sky. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, often representing new beginnings. This constellation is a reminder of adventure and the quest for something valuable and transformative. Now, let me tell you about Pisces, the constellation representing two fish tied together by a cord. In Greek mythology, these fish were Aphrodite and her son Eros, who transformed themselves to escape the monster Typhon. Pisces is a symbol of unity and connection, with its stars gently flowing through the night sky. Isn't it comforting to think of two celestial beings swimming together, forever linked by their shared journey? Speaking of shared journeys, did you know that the constellation of Ophiuchus, the serpent bearer, represents Asclepius, the god of medicine and healing? Ophiuchus is often depicted holding a serpent, a symbol of renewal and regeneration. This constellation reminds us of humanity's eternal quest for healing and knowledge, bridging the natural world with the divine. Let's not overlook the fascinating constellation of Eridanus, the river. This celestial river winds its way across the sky, representing the river where Phaethon, the son of Helios, crashed after trying to drive his father's sun chariot. Eridanus embodies the flow of time and the journey of life, ever moving and ever changing. And here's a delightful thought about the constellation of Canis Major, home to Sirius, the brightest star in our night sky. In mythology, Canis Major is often associated with Orion's hunting dog. Sirius is a guiding light, visible in the winter sky, leading hunters and wanderers through the night. Isn't it fascinating how one bright star can shine so vividly, offering guidance and companionship? Finally, let's ponder the constellation of Lepus, the hare. Situated beneath Orion, Lepus is said to be hunted by the great hunter himself. This constellation may seem small, but it represents agility and quick thinking, qualities that have inspired stories and folklore throughout the ages. As you drift into slumber, consider the tales and myths woven into the stars above, and let them carry you gently into dreams filled with wonder. Continuing our celestial journey, let me share something intriguing about the constellation of Orion, one of the most recognizable patterns in the night sky. Did you know that Orion is often depicted as a great hunter, and his belt is formed by three bright stars in a perfectly straight line? These stars, Alnitak, Alnilam, and Mintaka, are part of Orion's rich tapestry of myths. In some cultures, Orion is seen as a giant or warrior, while in others, he is accompanied by his loyal dogs, represented by the nearby constellations of Canis Major and Canis Minor. Can you picture this cosmic hunter eternally poised in the sky, a testament to strength and bravery? Speaking of celestial companions, let's delve into the constellation of Cassiopeia. Known for its distinctive W shape, Cassiopeia is named after the vain queen of Greek mythology, who boasted about her unrivaled beauty. As a punishment for her arrogance, she was placed in the sky, destined to circle the celestial pole. Interestingly, Cassiopeia's position in the sky allows her to be visible year-round in the northern hemisphere. This constellation serves as a gentle reminder of the virtues of humility and grace, even in the midst of the stars. Here's a fascinating tidbit about the constellation of Gemini, the twins. In mythology, Gemini represents the brothers Castor and Pollux, who were known for their deep bond and loyalty to each other. Despite their contrasting natures, one mortal and the other divine, they shared a profound connection. When Castor died, Pollux begged Zeus to let them remain together, leading to their immortalization in the sky. Isn't it heartwarming to think of the twin stars, Castor and Pollux, shining side by side, a celestial symbol of brotherly love and companionship? Now, let's turn our attention to the constellation of Scorpius, a striking pattern that resembles a scorpion. This constellation plays a significant role in Greek mythology, often associated with the story of Orion. According to one tale, the scorpion was sent by Gaia to punish Orion for his hubris, leading to Orion's demise. In a poetic twist, Scorpius and Orion are placed on opposite sides of the sky, ensuring they never meet. This cosmic dance of predator and prey across the heavens is a captivating narrative of balance and consequence. Have you ever wondered about the constellation of Capricornus, known as the sea goat? In myth, Capricornus is linked to the story of the goat Amalthea, who nurtured Zeus as an infant. As a gesture of gratitude, Zeus placed her in the sky. The unique depiction of Capricornus as a creature with the front half of a goat and the tail of a fish reflects the duality of nature and the blending of realms. It's a wonderful reminder of nurturing and protection, captured in the form of stars. Speaking of the nurturing spirit, the constellation of Cancer, the crab, holds a special place in the zodiac. In one myth, Cancer was sent by Hera to distract Heracles during his battle with the Hydra. Despite its small size and ultimate defeat, Cancer was placed in the sky as a reward for its loyalty. The constellation of Cancer embodies the themes of perseverance and courage, showing that even the smallest of creatures can leave a lasting impression in the cosmos. Let me tell you about the constellation of Lyra, associated with the myth of Orpheus, the legendary musician and poet. Orpheus's lyre was said to create music so enchanting that it could charm all living things and even stones. After his tragic death, his lyre was placed among the stars as a tribute to his artistry. The brightest star in Lyra, Vega, is one of the most luminous stars in the night sky, guiding us with its gentle light. Isn't it enchanting to think of music and melody echoing through the universe? And here's something delightful about the constellation of Aquarius, the water bearer. In Greek mythology, Aquarius is linked to Ganymede, a young prince of great beauty who was taken by Zeus to serve as cupbearer to the gods. This myth highlights themes of youth and vitality, and the constellation itself is often associated with rain and the nourishment of the earth. With its stars flowing like water, Aquarius reminds us of the life-sustaining power of water and the cycles of renewal. Consider the constellation of Cetus, the sea monster. In the myth of Andromeda, Cetus was the fearsome creature sent by Poseidon to terrorize the kingdom of Ethiopia. The image of Cetus in the sky captures the mystery and majesty of the ocean, a realm full of wonders and unknowns. This constellation encourages us to embrace the vastness and depth of our imagination, exploring the uncharted waters of our dreams. Lastly, ponder the constellation of Hercules, named after the ancient hero known for his strength and bravery. Hercules is depicted in the sky, performing one of his many labors, showcasing his eternal struggle against adversity. This constellation serves as a symbol of resilience and the human spirit's ability to overcome challenges. As you look up at Hercules, you might be inspired to find strength within yourself, knowing that like the hero, you too can face any trial with courage and determination. As you gently drift into sleep, let these celestial stories guide you into a realm of dreams, where stars whisper tales of wonder and myth. Let me share something intriguing with you about the constellation of Draco, the dragon. This serpent-like formation winds its way between the Big Dipper and the Little Dipper in the northern sky. In Greek mythology, Draco is often associated with Ladon, the 100-headed dragon tasked with guarding the golden apples of the Hesperides. The Greeks believed that these apples granted immortality, and the presence of Ladon among the stars speaks to the perpetual vigilance required to protect such priceless treasures. Did you know that the constellation of Pegasus, the winged horse, is steeped in mythological tales of heroism and wonder? Pegasus was born from the blood of Medusa when she was slain by Perseus. This magnificent creature soared into the heavens to carry thunderbolts for Zeus. The constellation of Pegasus is notable for its great square, a defining feature of the autumn sky. As you gaze upon it, imagine the powerful wings of Pegasus fluttering through the night, a symbol of freedom and nobility. Here's a fascinating fact about the constellation of Pisces, the fish. In Greek lore, Pisces represents the fish into which Aphrodite and her son Eros transformed to escape the monster Typhon. Tying themselves together with a cord, they swam to safety, embodying themes of unity and survival. The gentle sweep of Pisces across the sky reminds us of the strength found in bonds of love and the enduring spirit to overcome adversity. Have you ever pondered the mystery of the constellation of Taurus, the bull? This majestic constellation is tied to the story of Zeus disguising himself as a beautiful white bull to abduct Europa. The star Aldebaran shines brilliantly within Taurus, representing the bull's fiery eye. Taurus also contains the renowned Pleiades star cluster, known as the Seven Sisters, which has captivated stargazers for centuries. These stars dance together in the night, weaving stories of love, loss, and celestial beauty. Speaking of celestial beauty, let's explore the constellation of Virgo, the maiden. Virgo is associated with several goddesses in mythology, including Demeter, the goddess of the harvest. One tale tells of her daughter Persephone's abduction by Hades, marking the changing of the seasons. The brightest star in Virgo, Spica, represents an ear of wheat, symbolizing abundance and growth. In the quiet of night, Virgo whispers of nature's cycles and the eternal dance of life and renewal. Now, let's consider the constellation of Canis Major, the great dog. Known for its brilliant star Sirius, the brightest in our night sky, Canis Major is said to represent the loyal hunting companion of Orion. In ancient Egyptian mythology, Sirius was linked to the goddess Isis and the annual flooding of the Nile, an event that was crucial to agriculture and survival. The radiant glow of Sirius heralds times of change and prosperity, guiding us through the cosmic landscape. Here's something delightful about the constellation of Andromeda, which tells the story of a princess saved from a sea monster by Perseus. Andromeda is depicted chained to a rock, waiting for her savior. Interestingly, within this constellation lies the Andromeda Galaxy, the closest spiral galaxy to our own Milky Way. It is visible to the naked eye under dark skies, a colossal cosmic neighbor just 2.5 million light-years away. The presence of the Andromeda Galaxy serves as a reminder of the vastness of the universe and the interconnectedness of all celestial beings. Speaking of vastness, the constellation of Ursa Major, the Great Bear, is home to the famous asterism known as the Big Dipper. In many cultures, this constellation is woven into tales of the sky. Greek mythology tells of Callisto, a nymph transformed into a bear by the jealous goddess Hera. Her son, Arcus, almost unknowingly kills her before Zeus places them in the heavens to prevent the tragedy. This celestial narrative encourages us to look beyond appearances and understand the stories hidden among the stars. Consider the constellation of Lepus, the hare, nestled beneath the feet of Orion. While this might seem an unassuming constellation, it was revered by the ancient Egyptians, for whom the hare symbolized renewal and resurrection. Lepus's presence in the sky, just below the formidable Orion, suggests a balance between prey and predator, a harmony that echoes through the cosmos. Each night, Lepus quietly bounds across the heavens, a gentle reminder of life's cyclical nature and the pursuit of harmony. And finally, let me tell you about the constellation of Sagittarius, the archer. Depicted as a centaur with a bow, Sagittarius is often associated with Chiron, a wise and kind centaur who mentored many Greek heroes. The constellation is home to the center of our Milky Way galaxy, where a supermassive black hole resides. Imagining this celestial archer poised at the heart of our galaxy inspires thoughts of exploration and the quest for knowledge, urging us to aim high and seek the mysteries of the universe. As you reflect on these cosmic stories and their ancient wisdom, let your mind wander through the starry tapestry of the night. Each constellation holds a tale, a reminder of the myths and legends that have shaped human understanding of the skies for millennia. May these celestial companions guide you gently into the realm of dreams, where the universe unfolds its wonders in whispers and starlight. Did you know that the constellation of Hydra, the serpent, is the largest of all the constellations in the night sky? Stretching across over 100 degrees, it slithers through the heavens with a graceful yet formidable presence. In Greek mythology, Hydra was a water serpent with many heads, and for every head chopped off it would grow 2 more. This monstrous creature was famously defeated by Hercules as one of his 12 labors. It's fascinating how the constellation's vastness reflects the mythical creature's daunting nature, reminding us of the challenges that demand resilience and cunning. Speaking of mythical creatures, the constellation of Draco the dragon has an intriguing tale to tell. In the mythological battle for the golden apples of the Hesperides, Draco was the dragon set to guard them. Hercules managed to slay the dragon and claim the apples, but Zeus placed Draco in the sky to commemorate its watchfulness. As you observe its winding shape among the stars, you might imagine the dragon eternally keeping its celestial vigil. The twisting form of Draco even appears to encircle the Little Dipper, as if protecting some cosmic treasure. Let me share something interesting about the constellation of Lyra, the lyre associated with Orpheus, the legendary musician and poet. Lyra tells a story of love and loss. Orpheus played music so beautiful that it could enchant all living things and even stones. After a tragic loss, his lyre was placed in the sky by Zeus. The bright star Vega, one of the brightest in the northern celestial hemisphere, is part of this constellation. Its brilliance reminds us of the power of music and art to transcend time and space, connecting us across the ages. And here's something fascinating about the constellation of Cetus, the whale or sea monster. In Greek mythology, Cetus was the creature sent by Poseidon to punish Queen Cassiopeia for her vanity. It was slain by Perseus in the heroic attempt to rescue Andromeda. Cetus's sprawling expanse across the sky invites us to envision the monstrous yet majestic sea creature gliding through the cosmic ocean. The stars within Cetus encourage us to reflect on themes of humility and redemption. Have you ever pondered the enchanting tale behind the constellation of Delphinus, the dolphin? This small but charming constellation is linked to the story of Arion, a poet and musician saved by dolphins after being thrown overboard by pirates. In gratitude for their help, Arion's tale was immortalized among the stars. As you trace the faint outline of Delphinus in the night sky, Let its presence inspire thoughts of friendship, loyalty, and the surprises life can offer from unexpected places. Let's journey to the constellation of Capricornus, the sea goat. This unusual hybrid creature has origins in the story of the god Pan, who transformed into a goatfish to escape the monster Typhon. It represents ingenuity and adaptability, qualities that have ensured its legacy in the stars. Capricornus is also linked to the winter solstice, marking a time of reflection and the promise of new beginnings. As you gaze upon its stars, consider how blending different strengths can lead to survival and success. Speaking of adaptability, the constellation of Eridanus, the river, winds its way across the heavens like a flowing waterway. In mythology, it represents the river where Phaethon, the son of the sun god Helios, fell after losing control of his father's chariot. Eridanus's serpentine path through the sky mirrors the river's mythical course, a symbol of the ebb and flow of life. Its stars beckon us to contemplate the consequences of hubris and the continuous journey of self-discovery. And have you ever considered the storied past of the constellation of Bootes, the herdsman? Often depicted as a ploughman in the sky, Bootes is linked to the story of Arcas, son of Zeus and Callisto. One of the brightest stars in the northern celestial sky, Arcturus resides here, symbolizing the guardian of the celestial herd. Bootes' vigilant presence reminds us of the rewards of hard work and diligence, as well as the nurturing connection between humanity and the natural world. Did you know that the constellation of Corona Borealis, the Northern Crown, carries a tale of love and celebration? This delicate semicircle of stars represents the crown given to Ariadne by Dionysus on their wedding day. And upon her ascent to immortality, the crown was placed in the sky as a token of their union. As you trace its gentle curve, let it inspire thoughts of joy, union, and the festivities that mark the important moments of our lives. Now, let us consider the constellation of Auriga, the charioteer. It is associated with the story of Erichthonius, an ancient king of Athens who invented the four-horse chariot. Auriga's stars serve as a testament to human ingenuity and the drive to harness nature's power. Capella, the sixth brightest star in the night sky, shines brightly within Auriga, a beacon that reminds us of innovation and the unstoppable spirit of progress. Finally, think of the celestial story behind the constellation of Ophiuchus, the serpent bearer. Ophiuchus is linked to Asclepius, the healer, whose knowledge of medicine was so profound that it was said he could bring the dead back to life. Asclepius's wisdom and healing abilities are immortalized in the stars, with Ophiuchus acting as a celestial symbol of health and the balance between life and death. Let these stars inspire dreams of discovery and the pursuit of knowledge that heals and transforms. As you drift into slumber, let the stories of these constellations guide you through the vast universe of dreams, where the stars whisper tales of old and the cosmos unfolds in an endless tapestry of wonder. Let me share with you the intriguing story of the constellation Sagittarius, the archer. In mythology, Sagittarius is often associated with the centaur Chiron, a wise and benevolent teacher. Unlike other centaurs known for their wild nature, Chiron was intelligent and kind-hearted, tutoring many heroes. When you look up and see Sagittarius, imagine the celestial archer with his bow drawn, forever poised between the stars, a reminder of guidance and mentorship in life's journey. Speaking of celestial archers, the constellation of Orion, one of the most recognizable patterns in the night sky, has a tale that is as captivating as its brilliance. Orion, a great hunter, is depicted with his faithful dogs Canis Major and Canis Minor, trailing behind. Interestingly, the star Sirius in Canis Major is the brightest in the night sky, often called the dog star. As you trace Orion's belt, consider the loyalty and companionship symbolized by these celestial canines, keeping eternal watch over their master. Have you ever noticed the constellation of Leo, the lion, prowling majestically among the stars? This constellation is tied to the Nemean lion, a creature that could not be killed with mortal weapons, defeated by Hercules as the first of his 12 labors. Hercules used the lion's own claws to skin it, wearing its indestructible hide as armor. When you see Leo, imagine the mighty lion's grandeur and the heroism it represents, reminding us of courage and the triumph over seemingly insurmountable obstacles. And here's something fascinating about the constellation of Aquarius, the water-bearer. In Greek mythology, Aquarius is associated with Ganymede, a beautiful youth chosen by Zeus to be the cupbearer to the gods. Ganymede's story is one of elevation from mortal to divine, carrying the promise of renewal and the pouring of life-giving waters. As you gaze at Aquarius, think of the refreshing streams of possibility and the idea that we too can be elevated beyond our current circumstances. Speaking of divinely inspired stories, the constellation of Pisces, represented by 2 fishes, carries a delightful myth of transformation and survival. It is said that when the monster Typhon threatened the gods, Aphrodite and her son Eros turned into fish to escape, tying themselves together with a cord to avoid separation. Pisces invites us to consider themes of unity and adaptability, encouraging us to remain connected through life's turbulent waters. Interestingly, the constellation of Aries, the ram, is linked to the story of the Golden Fleece. Aries represents the ram with the golden wool, a symbol of authority and kingship, sought by Jason and the Argonauts. The fleece itself was a powerful talisman, and the myth of its quest speaks to the enduring allure of adventure and the pursuit of glory. As you reflect on Aries, think of the heroic journeys that shape destinies and the golden opportunities that await the bold. Did you know that the constellation of Libra, the scales, is the only zodiac sign represented by an inanimate object? Libra symbolizes balance and justice, often associated with Themis, the Greek goddess of law and order. Its presence in the sky reminds us to strive for equilibrium and fairness in our lives, weighing our decisions carefully to achieve harmony. Here's a captivating story about the constellation of Scorpius, the scorpion. According to legend, the mighty hunter Orion was killed by a scorpion, sent by the goddess Gaia. In the sky, the two were placed at opposite ends to prevent further conflict, with Scorpius rising as Orion sets. This celestial dance suggests a cosmic balance, where every action meets a counteraction, a reminder of the interconnectedness of all things. Consider the constellation of Gemini, the twins, and its story of sibling devotion. Castor and Pollux, the twin brothers, are eternally placed in the sky as a testament to their bond. When Castor was mortally wounded, Pollux, being immortal, begged Zeus to let him share his immortality with his brother. Zeus granted his wish, allowing them to spend half their time in the underworld and half among the stars. Gemini teaches us about sacrifice and the enduring power of love and loyalty. Reflect on the constellation of Cancer, the crab, and its subtle yet powerful presence. Cancer is linked to the story of Hercules, where the crab was sent by Hera to distract him during his battle with the Hydra. Though small, the crab bravely fulfilled its duty, teaching us that even the seemingly insignificant can influence the course of events. Cancer reminds us of resilience and the impact each of us can make. Have you ever pondered the constellation of Taurus, the bull, and its association with Zeus's transformation to woo Europa? In this guise, Zeus carried Europa across the sea to Crete, marking a tale of transformation and the ability to transcend boundaries. Taurus encourages us to see the strength in change and the possibilities that arise when we embrace the unknown. Lastly, let us contemplate the constellation of Virgo, often associated with Demeter, the goddess of the harvest. Virgo's stars are seen as a symbol of fertility and the nourishing abundance of the earth. As the seasons change, Virgo's presence recalls the cycles of growth, reminding us of our connection to the natural world and the rhythms of life. Let these celestial stories weave their magic as you drift into a peaceful slumber, carried on the wings of imagination through the vast starlit tapestry of the night sky. Gazing into the night sky, have you ever noticed the constellation of Sagittarius? Depicting a centaur with a bow and arrow, Sagittarius is often linked to the wise Chiron, a mentor to many Greek heroes. Unlike his wilder kin, Chiron was known for his compassion and intellect. Can you imagine a creature both powerful and wise, guiding heroes towards their destinies? This constellation reminds us that true strength often lies in wisdom and nurturing the potential of others. Considering the constellation of Capricornus, the sea goat, its mythology is quite intriguing. In one tale, it represents the god Pan, who leapt into the Nile to escape the monster Typhon, transforming his lower half into a fish. This dual creature, half goat and half fish, symbolizes the balance between earthly endeavors and spiritual pursuits. Capricornus encourages us to seek harmony between our ambitions and our deeper, more introspective nature. And now let me share something enchanting about the constellation of Ophiuchus, sometimes called the Serpent Bearer. This lesser-known constellation is associated with Asclepius, the Greek god of medicine, who learned the secrets of life and death from observing a serpent. Ophiuchus is a reminder of the healing power of knowledge and the mysteries of life that await those who seek to understand them. The constellation of Lyra, representing the lyre of Orpheus, carries a tale of music's profound impact. Orpheus, known for his ability to charm all living things with his music, used his lyre to soothe even the fiercest of creatures. Lyra serves as a reminder of the harmony and peace that art can bring to our lives, transcending barriers and connecting us to deeper emotions. Consider also the constellation of Cygnus, the swan, and its association with the myth of Zeus transforming into a swan. In another story, Cygnus represents a friend of Phaethon, who was turned into a swan after mourning his friend's death. The graceful swan in the sky invites us to think of transformation and the gentle beauty that can arise from change and loss. The constellation of Pegasus, the winged horse, offers yet another fascinating story. Born from the blood of Medusa, Pegasus soared into the heavens, symbolizing inspiration and the transcendence of earthly bounds. The presence of Pegasus in the sky encourages us to let our dreams take flight, reminding us of the creative heights we can achieve when we believe in our own potential. Reflect on the constellation of Andromeda, linked to the tale of a princess saved from a sea monster by the hero Perseus. Chained to a rock as a sacrifice, Andromeda's rescue is a story of bravery and love prevailing over adversity. This starry image invites us to consider the power of hope and the promise of salvation, even when circumstances seem dire. Did you know the constellation of Cassiopeia, with its distinctive W shape, represents a queen whose vanity led to her downfall? The queen boasted of her beauty, angering the sea nymphs, which resulted in her being placed among the stars as a warning against pride. Cassiopeia reminds us to remain humble and aware of the consequences that can arise from vanity. The constellation of Perseus, a hero recognized for slaying Medusa, tells a story of courage and ingenuity. By using a mirrored shield to avoid Medusa's petrifying gaze, Perseus teaches us the importance of strategy and resourcefulness. Perseus is a testament to overcoming fearsome challenges with cleverness and bravery. Let's not forget the constellation of Cetus, the sea monster linked to the story of Andromeda. Often depicted as a giant sea creature, Cetus represents the unknown terrors that dwell in the depths. As you observe Cetus in the sky, consider the fears we face and how they can be vanquished by courage and determination. Consider the constellation of Corvus the crow and its tale of a bird sent by Apollo with a cup to fetch water. The crow, delaying its task, brought back a snake instead, leading to its placement among the stars as a symbol of deceit. Corvus reminds us of the importance of fulfilling our responsibilities and the potential consequences of negligence. The constellation of Hydra, the water serpent, offers yet another captivating myth. Associated with the many-headed beast slain by Hercules, Hydra symbolizes the challenges that multiply as they are confronted. The story of Hydra is a reminder of persistence and innovative thinking in overcoming obstacles that seem to grow with each attempt. Finally, Pavo, the peacock, tells an enchanting story from Asian mythology. It represents the hundred-eyed Argus, who was tasked with guarding a nymph. Upon Argus's death, the goddess Hera placed his eyes on the peacock's tail as a tribute. Pavo invites us to appreciate the beauty that can emerge from loyalty and the enduring legacy of those who watch over us. As you listen to these celestial tales, let them guide your thoughts into the comforting arms of the night. Each story weaves a part of the intricate tapestry of the stars, connecting us to the myths and legends that have inspired wonder throughout the ages. May these cosmic narratives lull you into a serene repose, where dreams are interwoven with the ancient dance of the constellations. Did you know the constellation of Orion is not only one of the most recognizable groups of stars, but also steeped in fascinating mythology? Orion, the great hunter, is often depicted in the night sky with his faithful hunting dogs, Canis Major and Canis Minor, by his side. In Greek mythology, Orion was a giant huntsman whom Zeus placed among the stars. But here's something intriguing. Different cultures interpret Orion in diverse ways. In ancient Egypt, Orion was associated with Osiris, the god of the afterlife, reflecting the constellation's timelessness and its pivotal role in navigating both the physical and spiritual realms. Speaking of Canis Major, this constellation is home to the brightest star in the night sky, Sirius. Often called the dog star, Sirius holds significant cultural importance across many societies. In ancient Egypt, the rising of Sirius before the sun was considered the herald of the annual flooding of the Nile River, a vital event for agriculture. The star's appearance was thus not only a celestial event, but also a symbol of life and fertility. Isn't it fascinating how a single star can have such profound impacts on human civilization? Let's turn our gaze to the constellation of Gemini, representing the twin brothers Castor and Pollux, who are known for their deep bond and adventures alongside the Argonauts. What is surprising here is their dual nature. Castor was mortal, while Pollux was immortal. After Castor's death, Pollux pleaded with Zeus to share his immortality with his brother. This touching myth speaks to the power of love and sacrifice, leading to their eternal presence in the stars. Can you imagine having such a connection that it defies even the boundaries of life and death? Speaking of celestial twins, the stars of Gemini also offer another delightful twist. The two brightest stars, Castor and Pollux, are in fact quite different in reality. Castor is not a single star, but a complex star system made up of 6 individual stars bound together by gravity. Pollux, on the other hand, is a giant star with a confirmed exoplanet orbiting it. This cosmic dance of stars adds an extra layer of wonder to the tale of the divine twins. Take a moment to consider the constellation of Leo, symbolizing the Nemean lion, a beast feared by all in Greek mythology. This lion was impervious to weapons until it met its fate at the hands of Hercules. But here's a surprising fact. In Chinese astronomy, part of the Leo constellation is associated with the yellow dragon of the center, a creature symbolizing power and luck. This east-west harmony within Leo reminds us of the universal archetypes shared across cultures, bridging diverse mythologies with the stars. And then there's Taurus, the mighty bull, representing another captivating myth. In Greek tradition, Taurus is linked to the story of Zeus transforming into a bull to abduct Europa. Yet, did you know that in Babylonian astronomy, this constellation was known as the heavenly bull? It was associated with the storm god, signaling the start of the new year. This ancient connection between the heavens and the cycles of nature highlights the enduring relationship between celestial patterns and earthly rhythms. Let us delve into the constellation of Sagittarius, often depicted as a centaur archer. In mythology, Sagittarius is connected to Chiron, the wise centaur who trained heroes like Hercules and Achilles. However, here's an intriguing twist. While Chiron was known for his healing skills, Sagittarius also represents the arrow of the archer, which is aimed at the heart of the scorpion in Scorpius. This dual imagery of healing and targeting danger reflects the complex interplay of strength and vulnerability. Have you ever considered the constellation of Aries, representing the ram with the golden fleece sought by Jason and the Argonauts? Aries is one of the 12 zodiac signs, marking the start of the astrological year. But did you know that in ancient Greek culture, the fleece was considered a symbol of authority and kingship? This story of Aries invites us to ponder the qualities we associate with leadership and the journeys we take to claim our own golden fleece. Now, let's reflect on the constellation of Libra, the only zodiac sign represented by an inanimate object, the scales. Associated with the Greek goddess Themis, who was known for her fairness and justice, Libra is a reminder of balance and equilibrium. What might surprise you is that in ancient Rome, Libra was connected to the harvest goddess Ceres, symbolizing the balance between planting and reaping. This dual representation underscores the importance of harmony in both personal and communal spheres. Consider the constellation of Aquarius, the water-bearer, often linked to the myth of Ganymede, a beautiful youth taken by Zeus to serve as the cupbearer to the gods. In ancient Sumerian culture, however, Aquarius was associated with the god Ea, who brought life-giving water to the earth. This mythological link between water and sustenance highlights the life-sustaining properties of this universal element, connecting humanity across time and space through the shared necessity of water. Lastly, we have the constellation of Cancer, the crab associated with the story of Hercules and the 12 labors. Cancer was sent by Hera to distract Hercules during his battle with the Hydra, but its presence in the stars tells a different story. In ancient traditions, Cancer was also tied to the scarab beetle, a symbol of transformation and rebirth in Egyptian mythology. This duality invites you to consider how obstacles can transform us, and what might seem small or insignificant can hold great power in shaping our journey. As you explore these starry narratives, may they inspire you to gaze upon the night sky with renewed wonder and curiosity, finding comfort in the timeless tales of constellations and mythology that continue to illuminate our path through the cosmos. Let's embark on a celestial journey through the constellation of Orion, one of the most easily recognizable patterns in the night sky. Orion is often depicted as a mighty hunter, poised with his bow and arrow. What's truly fascinating is that this constellation has been revered across different cultures for millennia. In ancient Egyptian mythology, Orion was associated with Osiris, the god of the afterlife. His position in the sky was thought to mark the entrance to the underworld, serving as a guide for departed souls. Can you imagine the comfort ancient peoples found, knowing that such a powerful guardian watched over their passing? Speaking of crossing cultures, the bright star Betelgeuse, which marks one of Orion's shoulders, holds its own intriguing story. The name Betelgeuse is derived from the Arabic phrase Yad al-Jawza, meaning the hand of the central one. This exemplifies how the exchange of astronomical knowledge transcended borders, leading to shared celestial lexicons that united diverse civilizations. And did you know that Betelgeuse is a red supergiant star nearing the end of its life? Scientists speculate it may explode into a supernova sometime within the next 100,000 years. Imagine the spectacular light show that will create in the sky. Moving along to another part of Orion, the three stars forming Orion's belt have their own celestial significance. In ancient Chinese astronomy, they were part of a larger constellation called Shen, representing a hunter or a warrior. These stars were also linked to the three kings or the three wise men in Christian tradition, showing how different cultures imprint their own stories onto the same cosmic canvas. Isn't it remarkable how the night sky serves as a universal storytelling tapestry? Consider the constellation of Cygnus, the swan, gracefully gliding across the Milky Way. In Greek mythology, Cygnus was associated with several legends, including that of Orpheus, the musician who charmed the gods with his lyre. After his death, Orpheus was placed in the sky as a tribute to his artistry, symbolized by the swan's elegance. But here's an interesting twist. In Hindu mythology, Cygnus is linked to Lord Vishnu's vehicle, Garuda, a powerful bird-like creature. This dual identity of Cygnus reflects the diverse narratives that intertwine across cultures. Let me share something interesting about the constellation of Perseus, which tells the tale of the hero who saved Andromeda from a sea monster. Perseus is also known for possessing a magical bag that could contain anything, a gift from the gods. This myth captures the imagination, illustrating themes of courage and resourcefulness. In the sky, Perseus is home to the annual Perseid meteor shower, one of the most stunning celestial displays observable from Earth. Imagine the thrill of witnessing such a cosmic phenomenon, knowing it has been celebrated for centuries. As we ponder these heroic deeds, let's turn our attention to the constellation of Draco, the dragon. Draco wins its way around the North Celestial Pole, forever guarding the treasures of the night sky. In Greek mythology, Draco was said to be the dragon slain by Cadmus, the founder of Thebes. Yet, in Norse mythology, it was linked to the dragon Nidhogg, who gnawed at the roots of the world tree. This imagery of dragons in the heavens invites us to consider their role as both guardians and adversaries, timeless symbols of power and mystery. Now, take a moment to reflect on the constellation Centaurus, representing the wise centaur Chiron. Distinct from Sagittarius, Chiron was renowned for his knowledge and mentorship, embodying the virtues of wisdom and guidance. Interestingly, Centaurus also contains Alpha Centauri, the closest star system to our own. The notion that the nearest stellar neighbor resides within a constellation symbolizing knowledge encourages us to dream about the possibilities of interstellar exploration. And here's something to ponder about the constellation of Ursa Major, more commonly known as the Big Dipper. This constellation has served as a celestial compass for centuries, helping travelers find their way. In Native American cultures, it was often seen as a bear pursued by hunters, reflecting the cycles of nature and the turning of the seasons. The Big Dipper's enduring presence in folklore highlights the universal human desire to seek guidance from the stars. Turning our gaze to the southern hemisphere, consider the Southern Cross, a constellation cherished by many cultures south of the equator. For the Aboriginal Australians, it represented an eagle's footprint, while in Maori mythology, it was the anchor of a great celestial canoe. These interpretations show how constellations can anchor cultural identities, connecting communities to the cosmos in profound ways. Finally, let's explore the constellation of Ophiuchus, the serpent bearer. Often overlooked, Ophiuchus is associated with Asclepius, the Greek god of medicine and healing. The serpent entwined around a staff remains a lasting symbol of medicine today. Interestingly, Ophiuchus is sometimes considered the 13th zodiac sign, a notion that piques curiosity about the boundaries of astrological tradition and the hidden narratives in our sky. As we continue to traverse these starry myths, may they inspire a sense of wonder and connection, illuminating the constellations as timeless storytellers in the vast cosmic theater. It's fascinating how constellations have woven themselves into the tapestry of our myths and stories, each star twinkling with a tale of its own. Did you know that the constellation Cassiopeia, easily recognizable by its distinctive W shape, is named after a queen in Greek mythology? Cassiopeia was known for her vanity, claiming her beauty surpassed that of the sea nymphs. As a result, she was placed in the sky, sometimes depicted as being upside down as punishment for her arrogance. Imagine the drama of such celestial consequences. Speaking of regal figures, the constellation Leo is linked to the Nemean lion, a beast defeated by Hercules as one of his 12 labors. The lion's impenetrable hide was said to make it invincible until Hercules, undeterred, finally subdued it using sheer strength. The image of Leo, roaring proudly in the sky, serves as a reminder of bravery and might. What's intriguing is how this constellation is associated with royalty and leadership in many cultures, reflecting the lion's symbolic power. Let me share something curious about Virgo, the only female figure among the 12 zodiac constellations, often associated with the goddess of wheat and agriculture. Demeter Virgo embodies themes of fertility and harvest. In ancient Egypt, Virgo was linked to Isis, the goddess of motherhood and magic. This connection to nurturing and life-giving forces showcases how constellations often mirror the roles and values important to civilizations across time. Another captivating constellation is Sagittarius, depicted as a centaur aiming his bow at the heart of the scorpion, represented by the nearby constellation Scorpius. In mythology, the scorpion was sent to defeat Orion, adding layers of interwoven stories to the night sky. Picture the cosmic dance of hunter and prey, eternally locked in a silent struggle above us. This imagery speaks to the eternal tension between light and dark, creation and destruction. Shifting our gaze to Libra, This constellation is unique as it represents a set of scales, symbolizing balance and justice. In ancient Rome, Libra was associated with the goddess Astraea, who wielded the scales of justice. The scales themselves are said to balance the day and night, a celestial reflection of equality and fairness. Isn't it remarkable how such abstract concepts find embodiment among the stars? Let's consider the intriguing story behind the constellation Pegasus. In Greek mythology, Pegasus was the winged horse born from the blood of Medusa after she was slain by Perseus. This divine steed became a symbol of inspiration and poetic imagination, often associated with artistic pursuits and the muses. Picture the majesty of a winged horse soaring through the heavens, inspiring creativity among mortals below. Have you ever pondered the duality of the constellation Gemini? Representing the twin brothers Castor and Pollux, Gemini embodies themes of duality and companionship. While Castor was mortal and Pollux immortal, their bond was so strong that Pollux chose to share his immortality with Castor. This touching myth reminds us of the enduring power of brotherly love and loyalty. Delving into the realm of the southern sky, the constellation Crux, or the Southern Cross, has a rich cultural significance. For the Inca Empire, it represented a cosmic llama, an animal integral to their society. This constellation's symbolism of guidance and protection resonated deeply, illustrating the profound connection between celestial patterns and terrestrial life. Can you imagine the comfort of seeing a familiar shape that links the heavens to the earth? Let's not overlook the constellation Hydra, the largest of all constellations. In mythology, the Hydra was a multi-headed serpent defeated by Hercules. The challenge lay in the creature's ability to regenerate its heads, a metaphor for overcoming seemingly insurmountable obstacles. The presence of Hydra in the sky serves as a reminder of resilience and the triumph of determination over adversity. The constellation of Lyra holds a particularly harmonious tale. Associated with Orpheus and his lyre, Lyra embodies musical beauty and the enchanting power of art. Orpheus's music was said to soothe wild creatures and even sway the hearts of gods. The stars of Lyra twinkle with the promise of melody, inviting us to contemplate the transformative magic of music. Consider, too, the story of Aquarius, the water-bearer. In Greek mythology, Aquarius was associated with Ganymede, a beautiful youth chosen by Zeus to be the cupbearer for the gods. This myth of divine favor and the flow of life-giving water highlights the constellation's themes of service and rejuvenation. It's fascinating how the act of bearing water is elevated to celestial status, symbolizing the sustenance of life. Reflecting on constellation myths, we find a mosaic of cultural narratives preserved in the night sky. The stories of constellations like Pisces, representing the fish that saved Aphrodite and Eros from the monster Typhon. In these stories, the stars become storytellers, bridging the gap between the earthly and the divine. Finally, we arrive at the constellation of Capricornus, often depicted as a sea goat. This hybrid creature symbolizes the duality of earth and water, embodying adaptability and resourcefulness. Capricornus's presence reminds us of the need to remain grounded while navigating the fluid currents of life. This amalgamation of elements reflects the harmony between different spheres of existence. These celestial narratives encourage us to look up at the night sky with renewed wonder, finding connection and meaning in the patterns that decorate our universe. As you close your eyes tonight, imagine the constellations above as guides, each one holding a story waiting to be discovered, weaving our world with threads of starlight and ancient lore. Let me share something intriguing about the constellation known as Cygnus, or the Swan. Its origins in the sky are linked to the myth of Zeus, who transformed into a swan to seduce Leda, the wife of the Spartan king. This transformation was one of many in which Zeus took the form of animals to interact with humans, adding layers of complexity to the interplay between gods and mortals. It's fascinating to consider how such myths shaped people's understanding of the divine and the natural world. Speaking of divine interactions, have you ever wondered about the story behind the constellation Cassiopeia? In Greek legend, Cassiopeia was a queen whose vanity led to her being placed into the sky as a constellation, forever sitting on her throne. What makes her story stand out is that her figure, shaped like a W or an M, appears to circle around the North Pole, symbolizing her eternal punishment of hanging upside down in the sky. It's a reminder of the consequences of excessive pride and the enduring nature of celestial lessons. Another constellation with a royal connection is Cepheus, the husband of Cassiopeia. This constellation is named after the king of Ethiopia, who was placed in the sky alongside his wife and daughter, Andromeda. The proximity of these constellations in the night sky highlights the interconnectedness of their myths, each one intertwining with tales of beauty, jealousy, and heroism. Can you imagine looking up and seeing this celestial family watching over us? Did you know that the constellation Draco represents a dragon? According to ancient mythology, Draco was said to be a guardian of golden apples in the garden of the Hesperides, slain by the hero Hercules as part of his 12 labors. Draco's place in the night sky serves as a guardian of the celestial north. The dragon's elongated body winds between the stars, evoking the timeless struggle between heroes and mythical creatures. Here's something unusual about the constellation Aries. While it's often associated with the ram in Greek mythology that bore the golden fleece sought by Jason and the Argonauts, its origins trace back even further. In ancient Babylonian culture, Aries was linked to the agrarian god Dumuzi, representing the season of spring and new beginnings. This duality of symbolism underscores how constellations can take on different meanings across cultures, adapting to the needs and stories of each society. And have you ever considered the story behind the constellation Corona Borealis? This small yet distinct pattern of stars represents the crown of Ariadne, a gift from Dionysus after their marriage. It's said that Dionysus placed the crown in the sky to symbolize their eternal love, a celestial reminder of beauty and devotion. The crown's arc of stars continues to captivate stargazers, its simplicity belied by the richness of its mythological tale. Let's delve into the constellation of Aquila, the eagle. In Greek mythology, Aquila was the bird of Zeus, tasked with carrying his thunderbolts and serving as a symbol of power and authority. The motif of the eagle transcends cultures, often representing strength and vision. The stars of Aquila shine brightly in the summer sky, inviting us to reflect on leadership and the lofty aspirations symbolized by this majestic bird. Consider the constellation Delphinus, or the dolphin. This charming configuration tells the story of Arion, a musician who was thrown overboard by sailors, but saved by a dolphin enchanted by his music. The dolphin carried him safely to shore, a tale of gratitude and miraculous rescue immortalized in the heavens. It's a testament to the bond between humans and animals, and the unexpected allies we may find along our journeys. The constellation Lacerta, though less known, deserves attention for its resemblance to a lizard. Discovered in the 17th century, Lacerta fills a gap in the night sky, showcasing how humanity continues to find patterns and stories in the stars. This modern addition to the constellation family reflects our ongoing relationship with the celestial tapestry that surrounds us, illustrating that even in contemporary times, new stories can emerge from the ancient canvas of the night. Shifting our focus to the constellation Serpens, unique in its division into two parts, Serpens caput, the serpent's head, and Serpens cauda, the serpent's tail. This unusual arrangement flanks the constellation Ophiuchus. The entwined serpent motifs are associated with healing and medicine, a symbol still used today. It's intriguing to see how ancient symbolism continues to influence modern iconography, bridging the past and present. The constellation Tucana captures the imagination with its depiction of a toucan. Named during the Age of Exploration, Tucana reflects the fascination with exotic animals from distant lands. This constellation, found in the southern hemisphere, reminds us of the vast diversity of life on Earth and the wonders that explorers encountered, mirroring the spirit of discovery that drives humanity to explore both our planet and the stars above. Finally, let's marvel at the constellation of Vulpecula, meaning little fox. Introduced in the 17th century by the Polish astronomer Johannes Hevelius, this constellation adds a playful touch to the sky. It's a reminder that not all celestial figures need to be grand or imposing. Sometimes it's the small and clever creatures that capture our imaginations, weaving tales of ingenuity and mystery. These stories and symbols scattered across the heavens invite you to pause and reflect on the endless possibilities of the universe. Each constellation, whether ancient or modern, holds a tale waiting to be told, encouraging us to find our place among the stars. As you drift into sleep, let your thoughts wander through these myths, dreaming of celestial wonders and the stories they continue to inspire. Let's explore the intriguing constellation of Sagittarius. This archer in the sky is typically associated with the centaur Chiron, known for his wisdom and gentleness. Yet there's another side to Sagittarius that speaks to the wild and untamed, reflecting the dual nature of centaurs. This constellation is positioned in the direction of the center of our galaxy, the Milky Way, which means when you gaze upon it, you're also looking towards the densely packed heart of our cosmic home. Isn't it fascinating to think that such a mythical figure stands watch over such an important region of the sky? Speaking of centaurs, did you know that the constellation Centaurus is one of the largest constellations in the southern sky? This constellation is home to Alpha Centauri, the closest star system to our own solar system. The idea that a centaur leads us to the nearest stars invites us to imagine these celestial beings as guides between worlds, bridging the vast expanse of space with tales of exploration and companionship. Let me share something intriguing about the constellation Phoenix. Named after the mythical bird that rises from its ashes, Phoenix symbolizes rebirth and renewal. This constellation is visible in the southern hemisphere and serves as a reminder of the cyclical nature of life and the continuous renewal found in the universe. Can you picture a bird of flame soaring through the night sky, embodying the endless cycle of death and rebirth? Have you ever pondered the story behind the constellation Lyra? It's not just a small lyre in the sky, but it represents Orpheus's legendary musical instrument. The ancient Greeks believed that the music of Orpheus could charm all living things and even stones. This lyre was placed among the stars by Zeus after Orpheus's death, a testament to the enduring power of music and the arts. Whenever you see Lyra shining above, it's a celestial nod to the transformative power of creativity and expression. Turning to the constellation of Taurus, this bull is not just any bull, but is linked to the myth of the Minotaur and the labyrinth. The mighty bull is also associated with Zeus, who transformed himself into a magnificent white bull to abduct Europa. This tale of transformation and disguise reminds us of the many layers of identity and the lengths one might go to achieve their desires, all captured within a starry symbol. Consider the constellation of Capricornus, the sea-goat. This unusual creature is often associated with Pan, the god who transformed himself into a goat to escape the monster Typhon. In Greek mythology, Capricornus is depicted as having the front half of a goat and the tail of a fish, a fantastic hybrid that signifies adaptability and survival. It's a reminder of the endless creativity found in myth, where even the most improbable creatures can inhabit the sky. Here's something intriguing about the constellation of Canis Major. Known as the Great Dog, it is home to Sirius, the brightest star in the night sky. This celestial canine is often associated with Orion, the hunter, faithfully following him across the heavens. The bond between these constellations illustrates themes of loyalty and companionship, enduring across vast stretches of time and space. Whenever you spot Sirius twinkling brightly, let it remind you of the steadfast friends who accompany us on our journeys. Did you know that the constellation Hydra is the largest of all the modern constellations? This celestial water serpent stretches across an incredible portion of the sky. In mythology, Hydra is known for its many heads, which regrew when cut off, famously slain by Hercules as one of his 12 labors. The ever-regenerating nature of this creature in the stars can symbolize resilience and the idea that even when parts of us are lost, the small constellation of Vulpecula, meaning little fox, holds an intriguing story. It originally included a goose, as Hevelius's original depiction was of a little fox holding a goose in its jaws. This tale of predator and prey, captured in the sky, highlights the balance of nature, a reminder of the interconnectedness of all life forms, even within the celestial realm. Let's turn our gaze to the constellation of Hercules. Though it's named after the famed hero, the arrangement of its stars doesn't immediately suggest his form. Instead, the constellation is a vast area filled with stars, including the Great Globular Cluster, one of the most spectacular sights in the northern sky. This abundance of stars within Hercules can serve as a metaphor for the hero's great strength and numerous adventures, each star representing a different tale of bravery and challenge. The constellation Auriga, known as the Charioteer, carries with it the legend of Erichthonius, an ancient Athenian king credited with inventing the chariot. This innovation is said to have been so impressive that Zeus placed him in the sky as a constellation. Auriga is a tribute to human ingenuity and the progress driven by creativity and invention, a celestial acknowledgement of the transformative power of human achievement. Lastly, have you ever reflected on the constellation Columba, the dove? Often associated with the dove that Noah sent from the ark, it symbolizes peace and hope. The gentle presence of this constellation reminds us of the enduring human quest for tranquility and the serene promise of new beginnings, a soft beacon of calm within the cosmic expanse. As you close your eyes and drift off, allow these celestial narratives to guide your dreams, weaving stories of myth and wonder across the tapestry of your night. Imagine the constellation of Aquila, the eagle, soaring high above. Aquila is linked to Zeus, who employed the eagle to carry his thunderbolts and perform various tasks. This celestial bird was also said to have been the servant of Ganymede, a beautiful youth whom Zeus brought to Olympus to serve as the cupbearer of the gods. Aquila's presence in the sky is a reminder of the mighty eagle's role as a messenger and servant of the divine, forever flying across the heavens, symbolizing strength and swiftness. Here's something you might not know about the constellation of Cassiopeia. It represents a queen of Ethiopia, known for her legendary beauty and vanity. In myth, she boasted that she was more beautiful than the sea nymphs, which angered Poseidon. As punishment, her daughter Andromeda was to be sacrificed to a sea monster. But did you know that Cassiopeia's boastful nature is forever immortalized in the sky? Her constellation forms the shape of a W or an M, depending on the time of year, symbolizing her eternal punishment of being upside down in the sky. Moving on to the constellation of Aries, you might find it surprising that it is linked to the story of the Golden Fleece. Aries represents the ram whose fleece was sought by Jason and the Argonauts. This magical fleece was said to bring prosperity and was guarded by a dragon. The tale of Aries is one of adventure and quest, reflecting the courage and determination of those who seek to achieve the seemingly impossible. And speaking of impossible feats, have you ever considered the story behind the constellation of Andromeda? In Greek mythology, Andromeda was chained to a rock as a sacrifice to a sea monster, only to be saved by the hero Perseus. Her constellation lies next to Pegasus, the winged horse, and Perseus, forming a narrative of rescue and heroism. This positioning in the sky tells a story of bravery and love, a cosmic play where the damsel in distress is saved by a valiant hero. Let's delve into the constellation of Cepheus, often overshadowed by its more famous neighbors. Named after the king of Ethiopia and husband to Cassiopeia, Cepheus is a relatively faint constellation. Although not prominent, it holds a significant place in the mythological tale of his daughter Andromeda. The constellation's shape resembles a house, which could be seen as a king's crown, acknowledging his royal status in mythological lore. Consider the constellation of Leo, the lion. It is associated with the Nemean lion, slain by Hercules as the first of his 12 labors. The beast's fur was impervious to weapons, and Hercules had to strangle it with his bare hands. Leo's stars form the shape of a lion, roaring triumphantly across the sky. This constellation is a symbol of strength and bravery, eternalizing Hercules' heroic deed among the stars. Let me tell you about the constellation of Pisces. It represents two fish connected by a cord and is linked to the myth of Aphrodite and her son Eros. To escape the monster Typhon, they transformed into fish and tied themselves together to avoid losing each other in the river. Pisces speaks to the bond and connection between loved ones, illustrating how unity and cooperation can overcome even the direst of challenges. Now, let's explore the constellation of Scorpio, one of the most distinctive zodiac constellations. Its myth is intertwined with Orion the hunter, who boasted that he could kill any beast on Earth. In response, Gaia sent a giant scorpion to defeat him. The two were placed on opposite sides of the sky, so that when one rises, the other sets. This cosmic arrangement reflects the eternal dance of predator and prey, a reminder of nature's balance. Shifting our gaze to the constellation of Ophiuchus, the serpent bearer, you might be intrigued to learn that it is associated with Asclepius, the Greek god of medicine. Asclepius was known for his healing powers, learned from the serpent, a creature often linked to rebirth and renewal due to its ability to shed its skin. Ophiuchus stands as a symbol of healing and the mysteries of life and death, embodying the eternal quest for knowledge and understanding. Let us consider the constellation of Sagittarius, the archer. This constellation is portrayed as a centaur wielding a bow, often linked to the wise centaur Chiron. Known for his knowledge and skill in medicine, Chiron trained many Greek heroes. Sagittarius aims his arrow towards the heart of the scorpion, reminding us of the wisdom and precision required in both battle and life's endeavors. As we turn to the constellation of Libra, we discover an intriguing fact. It is the only zodiac constellation representing an inanimate object, a set of scales. In mythology, Libra is associated with the Greek goddess Themis, who personified divine law and order. The scales symbolize justice and balance, a celestial reminder of the fairness and equilibrium that we strive for in our lives. Reflecting on the constellation of Corvus, the crow, there's an interesting tale to uncover. In Greek mythology, Apollo sent a raven to fetch water. When the bird returned late with a lame excuse, Apollo turned it black as punishment. The crow's place in the sky serves as a reminder of the consequences of deceit and the importance of truthfulness. The constellation of Boots, often identified as the herdsman, carries a story of innovation and toil. It is said to represent a plowman eternally chasing the great bear around the pole star. In myth, Bootes is linked to the invention of the plow, a symbol of agricultural advancement and human ingenuity. His presence in the sky honors the hard work and progress that have shaped civilizations. Imagine the constellation of Delphinus, the dolphin. In Greek mythology, it is said to represent the dolphin that carried messages for the sea god Poseidon, or the one that saved the musician Arion. This constellation captures the playfulness and intelligence of dolphins, symbolizing the harmony and friendship between humans and animals. As you drift into slumber, let these tales of constellations and myths weave their magic, creating a tapestry of stories in the vast starlit sky. Each star, a beacon of history and imagination, twinkling softly as you journey through the realms of dreams. Have you ever wondered about the constellation of Aquila? It is known as the Eagle, and is associated with the mighty bird that served Zeus by carrying his thunderbolts. Aquila's presence in the sky is a symbol of loyalty and service, reminding us of the powerful bonds formed between those who serve and protect. The eagle's sharp gaze and majestic flight inspire awe and respect, a celestial guardian watching over the universe. Speaking of guardians, the constellation of Lyra has its own story to tell. It represents the lyre, a musical instrument created by Hermes and given to Orpheus, the legendary musician. Orpheus's music was said to be so enchanting that it could soothe wild beasts and even move stones. Lyra twinkles in the night sky, a testament to the transcendent power of music and its ability to connect us to the divine. Here's an intriguing thought. The constellation of Draco the dragon wins its way across the northern sky. In mythology, Draco represents the dragon that guarded the golden apples in the Garden of the Hesperides. Slain by Hercules during his 12 labors, Draco was placed in the sky as a reminder of vigilance and the eternal challenges we face. The dragon's sinuous form is a symbol of protection and the enigmatic mysteries of the cosmos. Reflecting on the constellation of Orion, did you know it has connections beyond Greek mythology? In ancient Egypt, Orion was associated with the god Osiris, the lord of the underworld. The stars of Orion were seen as a celestial representation of Osiris's physical form, highlighting the god's enduring presence and power over life and death. This cross-cultural symbolism underscores the universal nature of the stories we find written in the stars. Consider the constellation of Gemini, representing the mythological twins Castor and Pollux. These brothers were known for their deep bond, with Pollux choosing to share his immortality with Castor upon his death. Gemini's celestial depiction speaks to the themes of brotherhood and sacrifice, illustrating the profound connection that can exist between siblings and the lengths one might go to preserve such a bond. Have you ever pondered the story of the constellation of Cancer, the crab? In Greek mythology, Cancer was sent by Hera to distract Hercules during his fight with the Hydra. Although the crab was ultimately crushed, Hera placed it in the sky to honor its loyalty. Cancer's stars form a subtle shape in the night, a reminder of steadfastness and the small but significant roles we play in greater narratives. Turning our gaze to the constellation of Taurus, it is fascinating to learn that it represents the bull form taken by Zeus when he abducted the princess Europa. This tale of transformation and divine intervention is woven into the fabric of the stars, with Taurus's prominent horns marking a guidepost in the celestial sphere. The bull's robust form embodies strength and determination, qualities admired across cultures and time. Let's explore the constellation of Virgo, which is often associated with the goddess Demeter or her daughter Persephone. In both roles, Virgo symbolizes fertility in the changing seasons, embodying the cycles of growth, harvest, and renewal. As the largest zodiac constellation, Virgo's presence in the sky is an ever-present reminder of nature's bounty and the eternal dance of life and death. And then there's the constellation of Canis Major, home to Sirius, the brightest star in the night sky. Known as the dog star, Sirius has been revered in many cultures as a harbinger of seasonal change. In ancient Egypt, its rising marked the start of the Nile's flooding, a vital event for agriculture. This connection between the stars and earthbound phenomena highlights the profound impact the cosmos has on our lives. Consider the lesser-known constellation of Camelopardalis, which represents a giraffe. Its placement in the sky is a modern addition, named in the 17th century. Though not steeped in ancient myth, Camelopardalis captures the spirit of exploration and discovery, reminding us that our understanding of the stars is ever-evolving and open to new interpretations. In the constellation of Aries, often linked to the golden ram of Greek mythology, we find a symbol of adventure and new beginnings. The golden fleece sought by Jason and the Argonauts represents a journey of bravery and quest for glory. Aries' place in the zodiac marks the start of spring, a season of renewal and growth, echoing the optimism of fresh starts. Lastly, let us not forget the constellation of Pavo, the peacock, which carries its own beautiful story. In Greek mythology, the peacock was sacred to Hera, who adorned its tail with the eyes of Argus, her 100-eyed guardian. Pavo's dazzling display in the southern sky is a symbol of watchfulness and divine beauty, a reminder that the stars above us are filled with both mystery. As you let these tales and their celestial counterparts twinkle softly in your mind, may they guide you gently into a peaceful slumber. Each constellation is a link to the stories that have enchanted humanity for centuries, our ancestors looking up at the same sky and weaving tales of heroism, love, and adventure. Sweet dreams as you drift away under the watchful gaze of the stars. As you continue to relax under the gentle glow of the stars, let me share something intriguing about the constellation of Aquarius. This constellation, associated with water in its very name, represents Ganymede, a beautiful youth in Greek mythology who was taken to Olympus by Zeus to serve as the cupbearer to the gods. The act of Zeus transforming Ganymede into an immortal is a tale of elevation and divine favor, a reminder of how the heavens can touch our earthly lives in unexpected ways. Speaking of celestial connections, have you ever considered the story of Sagittarius? This constellation is often depicted as a centaur holding a bow, symbolizing the mythological figure Chiron. Known for his wisdom and skill in healing, Chiron's placement among the stars speaks to the idea of guidance and the pursuit of knowledge. His story is a beacon for those seeking wisdom and the courage to heal themselves and others. An equally fascinating constellation is that of Andromeda, named after the Ethiopian princess of Greek lore. Andromeda was chained to a rock as a sacrifice to a sea monster, her fate intertwined with the heroic Perseus who rescues her. The constellation's position, close to Pegasus and Perseus in the sky, signifies her eternal connection to this legendary tale of bravery and love. Here's a delightful revelation about the constellation of Lepus, the hare. Located just beneath Orion, Lepus is often thought of as the prey eternally hunted by the great hunter. However, in some traditions, Lepus is associated with quickness and the ability to escape danger, reflecting qualities of agility and cunning. This small yet lively constellation is a nod to the countless ways animals have been personified and celebrated in starlit stories. You might find it surprising that the constellation of Cygnus, the swan, is linked not only to the Greek myth of Zeus transforming into a swan, but also to the story of Phaethon. In some versions, when Phaethon fell to his death, his friend Cycnus, distraught, was turned into a swan so he could eternally mourn over the river. This tale highlights themes of friendship and the longing to be close to those we love, even in their absence. Speaking of transformations, the constellation of Phoenix is another enchanting subject. While the myth of the Phoenix is more widely known for its symbol of rebirth and renewal, the constellation itself is a relatively modern addition. Its presence in the southern sky serves as a reminder of the cyclical nature of life and the hope of new beginnings. Let's drift back to the constellation of Hydra, which holds the title as the largest constellation in the night sky. In myth, Hydra was a multi-headed serpent slain by Hercules. Each of its severed heads would regrow, a challenge that Hercules overcame with perseverance. Hydra's sprawling form across the heavens is a testament to resilience and the idea that obstacles, no matter how formidable, can be conquered with courage and ingenuity. Another constellation that captures the imagination is the Southern Cross, or Crux, which is revered in the Southern Hemisphere for its navigational significance. Its importance transcends myth, as it has been a guiding point for explorers and travelers for centuries, underscoring the role of the stars as beacons guiding us safely through life's journeys. Consider the constellation of Scorpius, linked to the tale of Orion the hunter. In one version of the myth, Orion boasts of his intent to hunt all the animals on Earth, prompting Gaia to send a giant scorpion to stop him. The resulting battle led to both Orion and Scorpius being placed among the stars. Their positions on opposite sides of the sky symbolize the eternal chase never able to meet, a celestial dance of pursuit and evasion. Reflecting on the constellation of Capricornus, it represents the sea-goat, a creature with the front half of a goat and the tail of a fish. This hybrid form connects back to the story of the god Pan, who transformed into a sea-goat to escape the monster Typhon. Capricornus speaks to adaptability and the ability to thrive in diverse environments, embodying a sense of resourcefulness that is timeless. And here's a charming notion about the constellation of Delphinus, the dolphin. In Greek mythology, Delphinus is associated with the story of Arion, a musician saved by dolphins after being thrown overboard by pirates. Dolphins, as symbols of protection and guidance, remind us of the unexpected allies we might find in our own adventures. The constellation of Corona Borealis, the Northern Crown, also holds a romantic tale. It represents the crown of Ariadne, gifted to her by Dionysus, Upon her death, Dionysus placed the crown in the sky to honor her. This shimmering circle of stars is a symbol of eternal love and remembrance, a celestial tribute to the bonds that transcend time and space. Lastly, the constellation of Bootes, often depicted as a herdsman, is associated with the myth of Arcas, son of Zeus and Callisto. Arcas was placed in the sky, forever watching over the Great Bear, Ursa Major. This story of familial ties and protection reflects the enduring nature of love and the guardianship we offer to those we care for. As you dwell on these enchanting stories and their starry reflections, allow them to gently guide you into a serene and restful state. Each celestial narrative is a reminder of the infinite tapestry of myths that weave through our night sky, inviting us to dream and discover. May these tales provide comfort and wonder as you drift into a peaceful sleep under the gentle watch of the constellations that have inspired humanity for millennia. Let me share something intriguing with you about the constellation of Lyra, often associated with Orpheus, the legendary musician. Lyra's brightest star, Vega, was once the North Star around 14,000 years ago, and will be again in roughly 12,000 years due to the precession of the equinoxes. Isn't it fascinating to think of the slow dance of stars gradually changing their places in the sky over millennia? This celestial waltz reminds us of the enduring cycles of the universe and the ever-shifting canvas of the night. And did you know that the constellation of Cassiopeia can be seen year-round in the northern hemisphere, sometimes resembling a W or an M, depending on its orientation? This reflects the myth of Queen Cassiopeia, who boasted of her beauty and was thus placed in the sky as a warning against vanity. The way her constellation appears to change shape is a poignant reminder of how perspectives can alter one's view of the world or the cosmos. Here's an unexpected tidbit about the constellation of Tucana, named after the toucan. It's one of the 12 constellations introduced by the Dutch explorers Peter Dirkzoon Keyser and Frederik de Houtman in the late 16th century. Unlike many constellations rooted in ancient mythologies, Tucana celebrates the diversity of the natural world discovered during the age of exploration. It's a nod to the way our understanding of the world evolved alongside our expanding horizons. Speaking of exploration, let's consider the constellation of Mensa. Named after Table Mountain in South Africa, it's remarkable for being the home of the Large Magellanic Cloud, a satellite galaxy of the Milky Way. Imagine the awe and curiosity such a distant and majestic structure inspires, visible even without a telescope. This celestial neighbor invites us to ponder the vastness of the universe and the mysteries it holds. Another captivating constellation is Vulpecula, meaning the little fox. Nestled between Cygnus and Pegasus, Vulpecula was created in the 17th century and originally called Vulpecula cum Ansa, or the little fox with the goose. It's a playful reminder of how humans have woven stories and personifications into the stars, adding layers of mythos to our celestial observations. This constellation encourages us to embrace imagination and creativity when gazing skyward. Let's drift to the constellation of Monoceros, the unicorn. Unlike many other constellations, Monoceros doesn't stem from ancient mythology, but rather from 17th century celestial cartographers. Its name and form evoke the legendary unicorn, a symbol of purity and grace. Despite being faint, Monoceros houses several noteworthy deep sky objects, such as the Rosette Nebula. The presence of such wonders within its boundaries reminds us of the beauty and mystery hidden in plain sight. Speaking of wonders, The constellation of Dorado is known for housing the large Magellanic Cloud's Tarantula Nebula, the most active star-forming region in our local group of galaxies. Dorado, named after the dolphin fish, illustrates how constellations can serve not only as mythological markers, but also as gateways to astronomical phenomena. It's a testament to the duality of storytelling and science in our quest to understand the universe. Consider the constellation of Puppis, part of the ancient constellation Argo Navis, representing the ship of the Argonauts. In the 18th century, Argo Navis was divided into three parts: Carina, Puppis, and Vela. Puppis embodies the tale of adventure and exploration, a theme deeply embedded in human spirit and reflected in the stars. This division serves as a reminder of how we continuously reinterpret and reassess our celestial maps. Let me tell you about the lesser-known constellation of Lacerta, the lizard. Though faint, it represents the adaptability and resilience often symbolized by reptiles. Its presence in the sky encourages us to recognize the subtlety and complexity within the tapestry of constellations, urging us to appreciate the quiet strength of less prominent stories in the starry realm. And here's a surprising fact about the constellation of sextans, named after the astronomical sextant. Introduced in the 17th century by Johannes Hevelius, sextans underscores the important role of scientific instruments in navigating and mapping the heavens. It serves as a tribute to the tools and techniques that have broadened our understanding of the night sky, embodying the spirit of discovery and innovation. Now, think about the constellation of Auriga, the charioteer, which is linked to several myths, one involving the hero Erichthonius of Athens, who was said to have invented the chariot to compensate for his lameness. This tale of ingenuity highlights how human creativity and resourcefulness can overcome physical limitations, a theme that still resonates deeply today. Allow your thoughts to wander to the constellation of Indus, named for the Indian and not directly tied to any mythological narrative. Created during the age of exploration, it reflects the era's drive to chart new territories and cultures. This constellation stands as a symbol of the lasting impact of exploration on our understanding of the world and the stars above. Lastly, let's reflect on the constellation of Camelopardalis, named for the giraffe, which combines the Arabic word for camel with the Greek word for leopard. This whimsical blend of names and its relative obscurity in ancient mythologies show how constellations can be imaginative expressions, inspired not only by myths, but also by the endless diversity of life on Earth. As you consider these constellations and their enchanting tales, let them guide you gently into a world of dreams, where the skies are alive with stories waiting to be discovered. May the stars, as they have for centuries, inspire a sense of wonder and peace as you drift into sleep, cradled by the cosmic stories that illuminate our nights. As we continue our gentle journey through the starry tapestry, let's pause and marvel at the constellation of Antliar, named after the air pump. It's one of the many constellations introduced by the French astronomer Nicolas Louis de Lacaille in the 18th century. Antliar reminds us of the Enlightenment spirit, highlighting how scientific progress and curiosity about the natural world were celebrated and immortalized in the stars. Speaking of celebration, did you know that the constellation of Lyra holds a special place in mythology as the lyre of Orpheus? Orpheus, famed for his musical talents, could charm all living things with his melodies. His lyre was placed among the stars by Zeus, symbolizing the power of art to transcend time and space, a comforting thought as you listen to the gentle rhythm of the night. Now, let's consider the constellation of Pyxis, The compass. It represents the maritime explorations that expanded our understanding of the world. Thixis was part of the larger constellation Argo Navis, and like the compass it is named after, it serves as a guide through the celestial sea, illustrating how the stars have been navigational aids long before the advent of modern technology. Transitioning to the constellation of Lepus, which is often overshadowed by its neighbor Orion, it represents a hare. In one myth, Lepus is pursued by Orion the hunter, perpetually caught in an endless chase. This cosmic dance reminds us of the eternal cycle of nature, where each element plays its part in a grand interconnected drama. Another intriguing constellation is Lynx, named for the feline. Its creator, Johannes Hevelius, chose the name because the stars were so faint they required eyes as sharp as a lynx's to discern them. This playful nod to observational skill highlights the importance of patience and keen perception in uncovering the universe's subtle wonders. Imagine the tales associated with the constellation of Calum, the chisel. It symbolizes the artist's tool, and was one of the few constellations named by Lacaille that wasn't directly tied to scientific instruments. Calum underlines the profound influence of creativity and artistry on our interpretation of the cosmos, where each star can be a point of inspiration. Did you know that the constellation of Telescopium pays homage to the telescope itself? This constellation reflects humanity's enduring quest to peer deeper into the cosmos, reminding us of the technological advancements that have allowed us to unlock the universe's secrets, one lens at a time. It embodies the spirit of discovery that drives exploration and wonder. Shifting our gaze to the constellation of Apus, named after the bird of paradise, it stands as a testament to the natural beauty discovered during the age of exploration. Apus, devoid of ancient mythological ties, presents an opportunity to create fresh narratives that blend the aesthetics of our planet with the mysteries of the heavens. Let's ponder the constellation of Phoenix, symbolizing rebirth and renewal. The mythical bird that rises from its ashes is a powerful metaphor for resilience and transformation. When you look at Phoenix, you are reminded of life's cyclical nature and the hope that springs from new beginnings, even in the darkest nights. Have you ever heard of the constellation of Microscopium? Also introduced by Lacaille, it celebrates the microscope, an instrument that opened up new worlds in the realm of the very small. This constellation draws attention to the dual nature of exploration, where the quest to understand the vastness of the cosmos is mirrored by the desire to unravel the intricacies of the microcosm. Imagine the intrigue of the constellation of Grus, the crane. Known for its elegance, Grus was named during an era when celestial cartographers sought to capture the grace of this long-necked bird. It serves as a symbolic reminder of the beauty found in both the skies and the world below, bridging the gap between earth-bound creatures and celestial wonders. Turning our attention to the constellation of Circinus, known as the compasses, it embodies precision and calculation. Circinus, another of Lacaille's creations, is a tribute to the scientific principles that have guided astronomers in their quest to chart the heavens with unparalleled accuracy and depth. Reflecting on the constellation of Pictor, or the painter's easel, it invites us to view the night sky as a canvas on which countless stories and dreams have been painted. Pictor represents the creativity and imagination needed to weave the constellations into coherent patterns and narratives, a practice that has enriched humanity's cultural and scientific heritage. As you let these tales of the cosmos envelop you, it represents the simple shape of a triangle, yet within its bounds lies the Triangulum Galaxy, one of the most distant objects visible to the naked eye. This constellation serves as a reminder of how seemingly simple structures can encompass vast, complex phenomena, inviting us to look deeper beyond the surface. In contemplating these constellations, allow your imagination to roam freely among the stars. Each point of light holds a story, a whisper from the past and a beacon to the future. As you drift into the realms of sleep, may you carry with you the gentle wonders of the night sky, a comforting companion in the quiet hours of rest and dreams.